August the 11th, 2019. Guys, welcome to the show. I appreciate you taking the time on this Sunday evening to get into the depth of what we're really facing now at this time. Someone give me an idea about our audio, if you don't mind. I know I always ask that, but with just the headphones on, I'm not sure exactly if you guys need a little more volume or a little less volume. Just let me know, and it's easy right here from my mixing board to get it to where it's comfortable for you guys, because I'm not hearing. It's good. Thank you, guys. Thanks, Nine. How you doing, brother? All of you folks out there, James and Spooky, World Guardian, Cynthia, Preston, Liz, Quizno, Gordon, Carol, Diesel, Liz. Again, if there's Second Timothy, Sandra Martin, Warner McWirt. If I missed anybody, guys, I'll get you. There's 1776, and Carol and Rob, Jay Manatee, Chicken Patty, Melissa Loves Jesus, Diesel 9, Thistle Mom. Guys, thank y'all for coming. It's 260 just as we're going live. And, you know, guys, I'm 63 years old. In November, I'll be 64. And if you make it, I know some people like Methuselah or maybe a little older than I am, but if you make it this long and you worked hard all your life, sometimes God will open your eyes. And if you, especially if you study, remember Timothy, he said, study to prove thyself, or study to show thyself approved. Why does he say that? Guys, he says that because God took the time to write us one book of the millions of books you see in the libraries and around the planet. Most of them are trash, useless. But there's one book that's number one seller of all times that a lot of people haven't read all the way through, or they've taken the time maybe to go to church and you get some teaching during that sermon. You get some singing. You get to talk about some other things, a lot of different things. But guys, the word antichrist, anti means instead of. And as we see this planet getting to the later days, we're seeing a lot of anti or instead of. And in some of the churches, not all, we have some great ones, you're seeing less and less teaching and more other things, plays, shows, this and that and the other, everything instead of teaching the word of the Lord. You ever notice that, guys? And in some, you know, it would take, if you get 3 or 4 verses out of a sermon, or maybe a half a chapter, it would take hundreds of years of Sundays to get through the Bible. And that's without going into detail on the teaching. So like I said, as you get older and you see more things, and if you're lucky and you're on the right side of the Lord, and that's a blessing to me, because I grew up a wild redneck here in Mississippi, born in Texas, grew up here in Mississippi, still here. But I love the nation. I love everybody out there. And so you start seeing things that are happening. You start seeing the political things that are happening on this planet. And then suddenly the Lord will tell you to back away from that mainstream media, back away from all of it, that he's in control. And that's what this show is about, really, because it's a maddening replay of, say, for instance, Epstein getting whatever happened to him yesterday morning. Now, that will play out ad nauseum until about Tuesday. The news cycle will change over. But in other words, it's a maddening replay of event after event, of Fox News talking about all the things that are going to go down once everything's released, the FISA documents and all that. In other words, there's a maddening replay of a matinee that is a distraction. We need to keep up with things, and we need to make sure the patriots are here for this country. But there's something that if you don't realize and you're caught off guard, it can be devastating. And so tonight is not going to be about any politics. It's going to be about trying to teach or to talk about, let me say this, the Word of God. And again, I'm not a preacher, but for maybe 40 years now, I've studied with one great teacher that we lost in 2014 for about 30 years, probably, with him. And and it was really great. And a lot of you guys may remember Pastor Arnold Murray from the Shepherd's Chapel. And and we lost him again. I think it was February 2014, around Valentine's Day. But I have all of his. I did it so long ago. Now you can go to the Shepherd's Chapel and order the CDs and the DVDs and stuff. But back then, guys, for you folks that were there for all those years, it was cassettes. I think I have all the cassettes and all the books he recommended, including the Strong's Concordance, guys. And if anyone wants to get their pen and pencil and take a few notes about some of the references that I give, it's a good Bible study because I've been there and done it, guys. But anyway, the Shepherd's Chapel, this is just a good reference, but the book that I want you to look at is the Strong's Concordance. And what that is, many of you know, but is a dictionary of every word in the Old Testament and New Testament with the explanation in the original language. In other words, in the Old Testament, you've got Hebrew. In the New Testament, it goes to Greek and Aramaic. Hey, everyone coming in. Thank y'all so much. So this Strong's Concordance, guys, gives you the real words. In other words, you're looking at the King James, and that's the closest new Bible that I will use in English because it's the closest to the truth. Each of the newer versions, guys, they seem to be easier to read, but they will leave key words out. And if they change a word from the King James, which the Strong's Concordance dictionary, again, that went back, took all the words, put the right translation in the original languages and the real meaning. If you go to a newer Bible today, it will have words changed that seem similar, that would fit the meaning of the sentence, but when you try to trace it back, it does not fit in the true original word. So it's an important book, again, the Strong's Concordance. With the Greek and Hebrew translations. Guys, it's a great study. Now, what you're looking at on screen, guys, are you getting a clear picture? Let me know, just like on audio. Do you see this seventh seal and golden censer? We have a really slow internet, and I can't bounce back and forth from the studio into YouTube, guys, without making everything start to delay. You get it? Can anybody see this seventh seals and the golden censer here? Let me know on your screen. So I'm going to go over just a minute and make sure of that because it's important. Bear with me one moment, guys. We won't be going long. Yes, there it is. I just checked it real quick. And what you're looking at, guys, is another major tool. This is the Strong's Concordance with multiple extra tools, and it's called eSword. Notice in the top left, the Sword of the Lord with an electronic edge, and it's free. You download it. Go to esword.net or esword.com. I think they have them both now. It's been here for years. I've used it for years. And if you're looking at the screen, I'm going to show you something. In the top left, if you see my cursor, it says KJV for King James version. But if I click at the KJV plus, that's going to switch us. And let me go there and do it. And hold on 1 second. That will give you exactly what I'm talking about with the King James version with the Strong's Concordance that goes along with it. Now, what you're seeing are numbers. You see this in purple. As you go, what those are, and we're in the New Testament, so we're dealing with Greek and Aramaic. You'll see this number. When you open the seventh seal in this first verse, you can go to what the seal means in the original languages. And the King, even though the King James is the closest we can get to the breakdown in the dictionaries, you still have the these and thous that are not there in the original Hebrew, Greek, and Aramaic. But anyway, this allows you to trace it back, and that's what's the key to the King James, not the New King James, but this one. But what this tool does, guys, and write it down, please, and download it. You can wait till after the show if you're buffering or anything. But the eSword, Sword of the Lord, electronic edge, and it has a tremendous amount of study tools. Not just what you're seeing now, but you can click on these various numbers. Again, it's going to do a pop-up right there with the description, with the original meaning in the original language, and it opens up. It makes the Bible come alive with things that you kind of wondered about. But when you see it translated or transliterated from the original text, it's a tremendous blessing. So, and again, it's free. And hey, shout out everybody. Thank y'all for coming again. Now, what I'm going to do, and guys, you remember a show we did a couple months ago, and then things really got hectic and other news was covering. I said, I want to start a series that would rightly divide the timing between the wrath of God and the tribulation of Christ. It's two different phases, and Revelation carries both. And what's really cool about this, guys, is if you understand and know how to rightly divide the word, you'll take in it. And if you follow the Lord and you believe in Jesus Christ, you're going to see that you're not going to go through the wrath of God and all the things that are tied to there. You will go through the tribulations of Christ. Why? Because we're here for a reason, to learn and to be tested. If it was going to be like kindergarten with cookies and Kool-Aid, it would have really been a useless thing for God to put mankind on this earth for these thousands of years. It was to be tested and tried and true, like putting that steel into that fire till it's as hard as it can get, tampered, pure. And so this tribulation of Christ, which is a tribulation of man, it stops. And a lot of people call it the rapture. But here's the misconception of that is, and it is a taking away of the people of God from their physical body into their spiritual body. You are away from here. But there's a lot of people confuse the fact that it's not a butterfly floating around in the air and you float off. There's a tribulation there, guys. And just bear with me. There's no way I would try to mislead anyone on this in any way. I'm going to go back so that it's easier to read and take these numbers out. But guys, if you don't download this for free, you're really missing a critical tool. And you can actually, if you get the Strong's Concordance in the hardbound, and it's a big encyclopedia, then if you ever have a blackout and we lose power, this eSword will be worthless. And that's going to be the times when you really need it. But until now, you can search every word in the Bible. It'll give you every word and every verse and every chapter, how many times it's been there. And so if you're looking for a certain subject and you type that in these search tools in the top left, then it's going to quickly go to those topics instead of searching for days or hours, and then hone in and sharpen your tools. And so when we do have a kingdom of darkness come upon this planet, if we have an EMP or whatever, or solar flare, then you open that book and along with your King James Bible, and it will become alive and it will lead you through. It is the battle plan of the end times. Look, give me just a moment, and I have to switch screens, guys, to switch what you're seeing here in these swords. So just bear with me just a moment. Okay, I'm getting the information now. We lost sound, and I apologize for that. I think this is very important. Sound, okay, guys, are you getting sound now? Let me know. Now, here we go. Get back to this. I'm sorry we lost sound a moment, guys. I'm not sure if that will be in the archives, But what we were talking about, the seventh seal, the golden censer, we're in Revelation 8. And the seventh seal, that's the seal of perfection. Number 7 in the Bible, completeness, spiritual perfection. This is when the wrath of God is about to be deployed upon this planet, and the people whose names were not in the book of life are going to see this. It's going to be, again, like bad news of the headlines coming day to day. You hate to say it, but that's what this says. And the 7 angels had the 7 trumpets prepared themselves to sound. The first angel sounded. It followed hail and fire mingled with blood, and they were cast upon the earth. The third part of trees were burnt up, and all green grass was burnt up. And the second angel sounded. It was a great mountain burning with fire, was cast into the sea. And the third part of the sea became blood. And the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. You got sound back, guys? Thank you. I tried to back up there on some of the stuff that we had missed. Now I'm going to move this page. It continues. It says, and the third angel sounded, and this is very important. There fell a great star from heaven, burning as it were a lamp. And it fell upon the third part of the rivers and upon the fountains of water. These stars that are falling, guys, are not stars, not like we think. And the name of the star is called wormwood. And the third part of the waters became wormwood, and many men died of the waters because they were made bitter. Now, if we go a little further in Revelation and we see the star that fell, I think it's chapter 9, you're going to see that and he was given the keys to the bottomless pit. And the locust army with the breastplates of iron, indicating a false religion. They come and they destroy a third of the living waters. What is that? That's what man feeds on and many men died of these poison waters because they were made bitter. The word was made bitter because of this locust army with the breastplates of iron that are teaching the doctrine of Lucifer in a way that deceives the last men. And the fourth angel sounded, and the third part of the sun was smitten, and the third part of the moon, and the third part of the stars. So as the third part of them were darkened, and the day shone not for a third part of it, and the night likewise. And I beheld, and I heard an angel flying through the midst of heaven, saying with a loud voice, listen, woe, woe, woe to the inhabitants of the earth by reason of the other voices of the trumpet of the 3 angels which are yet to sound. Again, guys, we're in the wrath of God now. The tribulation of man is over for the believers. But again, this is headlines. This is the bad news coming day to day to the folks that would not listen. And so why did God right past that point? Why are we reading information past the point of the Christians being taken up? God wants everyone to know. He told you. Now, this is what's about to happen. Let's move to chapter 9. Give me 1 minute. Guys, you getting good sound? Thank you. And the 5th angel sounded. Here we go. And I saw a star fall from heaven into the earth, and to him was given the key of the bottomless pit. Now, the star that fell from heaven. Remember the morning stars sang together in heaven? To him, not to a star, was given the key of the bottom. What's he going to do? He's going to open the bottomless pit, and there rose a smoke out of the pit, great furnace. And the sun and the air were darkened by the reason of the smoke of the pit. It has gotten very dark in more ways than one. And there came out of the smoke locusts upon the earth, and to them were given power, as the scorpions of the earth have power. And it was commanded to them that they should not hurt the grass of the earth. Now, that's what locusts eat. Neither any green thing, neither any tree, but only those men which have not the seal of God in their foreheads. Guys, you're out of here. And to them it was given that they should not kill them, but that they should be tormented 5 months. And their torment was as the torment of a scorpion when it striketh a man. What happens? What is that torment? What does a scorpion do? When it strikes its prey, it dissolves it from within. No backbone. And in those days men shall seek death, and shall not find it, and shall desire to die, and death shall flee them. Guys, you think this is talking about you? It's not. And the shapes of the locusts were likened to horses prepared into battle, and their heads were as it were crowns like gold, and their faces were the faces of men. And they had the hair of women, and their teeth was the teeth of lions. That's a double saying if you understand who the lion was and what comes out of the mouth. And they had, here we go, they had breastplates. Remember the Levitical breastplates, the first breastplates in the Bible? They were gold with 12 beautiful jewels on them representing the 12 tribes. And they were giving to the Levitical priesthood to teach. And the shapes of the locusts, again, horses prepared unto battle. Heads was crowned like gold, and the faces were faces of men. They had hairs, the hair of women, teeth of lions, and the breastplates were breastplates of iron, not beautiful gold, not the 12 beautiful jewels of the 12 tribes, but a breastplate representing a false priesthood. And the sound of their wings were the sound of chariots of many horses running to battle. Have you ever heard of the chariots of the gods? All of the angels, messengers, both sides, good and bad, had chariots. And their tails like stings in their tails, and their powers again was to hurt men 5 months. Again, let me move this page. Revelation 9:1-1. And they had a king over them, which is the angel of the bottomless pit, whose name in the Hebrew tongue is Abaddon, but in the Greek tongue, his name is Apollyon. Through all of the Greek mythology and Apollo, Romans, these were the so-called gods. They weren't. And one woe is past, and behold, there come 2 woes hereafter. And the 6th angel sounded, and I heard a voice from the 4 horns of the golden altar, which is before God, saying to the 6th angel, which had the trumpet, loose the 4 angels, which are bound in the great river Euphrates. And the 4 angels were loosed, which were prepared for an hour, and a day, and a month, and a year, for to slay a third part of the men. Here comes these woes, guys. You remember he said there's more woes coming? And thus I saw the horses in the vision, John on Patmos, and them that sat on them having breastplates of fire, jackson, brimstone, and the heads of the horses were the heads of lions, and out of their mouths issued fire, smoke, and brimstone. Again, what were the breastplates? They were not of gold and of jewels. They were fire and brimstone. And why is what comes out of their mouth was fire, smoke, and brimstone? Because they were lying. They were the false preachers, the false prophets. By these 3 were the third part of men killed. How? By the brimstone which issued out of their mouths. They were broken down. For their powers in their mouth and in their tails, for their tails were likened to serpents and had heads, and with them they do hurt. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues yet repented not of their works. Here we go, another woe coming. Again, let me change this page. says, then the rest of the men again, which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of their works, of their hands, their silver and their gold. Remember, it was the stumbling block of the iniquity of my children. In the Old Testament, when it said they will throw their silver and gold into the streets, can't feed your family with it, that they should not worship devils and idols of gold and silver and brass and stone and of wood, which neither can see nor hear nor walk. Neither, does this sound like the newspaper for the last few days, repented of their murders, nor of their sorceries, their witchcraft, nor of their fornication, Jeffrey, nor of their thefts, Bill and Hillary. Didn't repent. Some it's too late for. We know, you know who I'm talking about. Let's move just a little further in this. Just going into Revelation 10. And I saw another mighty angel come down from heaven, clothed with a cloud and a rainbow upon his head, and his face were as it were the sun, and his feet as pillars of fire. Guys, if you don't understand the first chapter of Ezekiel, when the throne of God came down, you're not going to understand this, because this is exactly what happened to Ezekiel. And he had in his hand a little book open, and he set it right upon the sea, and his left foot on the earth, and cried with a loud voice as when a lion roareth. And when he had cried, 7 thunders uttered their voices. And when the 7 thunders had uttered their voices, I was about to write. And I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, seal up those things which the 7 thunders uttered, and write them not. And the angel which I saw stand upon the sea and upon the earth lifted up his hand to heaven. He couldn't write about those thunders. Not then. It couldn't be disclosed. And swear by him that liveth forever and ever, who created heaven and the things that are and the earth and the things that therein are, and the sea and the things which are therein, and there should be time no longer. And the voice which I heard from heaven spake unto me again, said, go and take the little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea, upon the earth. And I went up unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it, and it shall make thy belly bitter, but it shall be in thy mouth sweet as honey. Guys, that's absorbing the fact. What you're talking about when you digest the book. Tastes good, but when you really get down to you fully digest it and understand it, it may be a little bitter until you realize you got to be on the right side, and it's the easiest side to be on. Give me 1 second. But in the days of the voice of the 7th angel, again, spiritual perfection, when he shall begin to sound, and the mystery of God should be finished, and he hath declared to his servants the prophets, as he hath declared to his servants the prophets. And the voice which I heard from heaven spake unto me again, and said, go and take that little book which is open in the hand of the angel which standeth upon the sea and upon the earth. That angel is Christ. And I went unto the angel and said unto him, give me the little book. And he said unto me, take it and eat it, and it again make your belly bitter, sweet as honey in your mouth. Ezekiel 1. And I took the little book out of the angel's hand and ate it, and it was in my mouth sweet as honey. And soon as I had eaten it, soon as I had digested that knowledge, it became bitter. And he said to me, thou must prophesy against many peoples and nations and tongues and kings. Guys, Ezekiel chapter 1 into Revelation. Now I want to go back to Ezekiel chapter 1 for just a moment. Just give me a second to change this software. No. The Bible repeats itself many times, 3 times for emphasis. But before John walked the planet, Ezekiel 1, now they were in captivity. It says, now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, and I was among the captives by the river Kibar, that the heavens were open, and I saw the visions of God. Here we go. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of the king Jehoiachin's captivity, the word of the Lord came expressively unto Ezekiel the priest, the son of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans by the river Kibar, and the hand of the Lord was there upon him. This is the throne of God coming down out of heaven. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolding itself. And a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber out of the midst of the fire. This word amber is highly polished bronze in the Hebrew. Also out of the midst there came the likeness of 4 living creatures, and this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. But let me back up. Ezekiel 1:5. And out of the midst, therefore, came the likeness of 4 living creatures. It didn't say 4 living creatures. It said the likeness of. And a likeness can be an image. It can be a picture. It can be something on the wing of a craft. It was not 4 living creatures. That's what was being perceived. It was a likeness of. The likeness, like you take a picture of yourself. And this was their appearance. They had the likeness of a man. And everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings. These are not wings on the back. Angels did not. The messengers did not have wings. And their feet were straight feet, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. Here's Ezekiel, enslaved on the bank of the Kibar River, and the heavens opened up. Here comes these craft of highly polished bronze out of the midst of the fire. And guys, many people have misread this chapter, and I've seen pictures and pictures of 4 rings like Ezekiel's vision and all. That's not what it's talking about. And they had the hands of a man under their wings and their 4 sides, and the 4 had their faces and their wings. The wings were joined together, one to another. They turned not when they went, and they went everyone straight forward. This is a chariot of the gods. Let me move this page. As for the likeness, they 4 had the face of a man and the face of a lion on the right side. Was that on the right side of the craft? And they had 4 had the face of an ox on the left, and the 4 also had the face of an eagle. Guys, these are all biblical creatures, and almost every one of them talk about the symbols of Christ. Who was the Lion of Judah? Who spread the wings of an eagle and protected man? This is the king, the throne of God in Christ. Thus were their faces, and their wings were stretched upward. 2 wings on every one were joined one to another, and 2 covered their bodies. And they went every one straight forward. Whether the spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not when they went. Guys, the spirit was above them. If you'll pay attention, there was something much larger above these 4 craft. And for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps. And it went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. I got to go back. And the likeness and the light, and like the appearance of lamps. Who was that star that fell like a burning lamp and he was given the key to the bottomless pit, like the appearance of lamps, a craft falling. That's telling you that when that angel that crashes, that comes to earth like a falling star, is not going to come like a comet. It's going to be in a craft, guys. And if you've got to understand this, the Antichrist will mimic everything beforehand. And you hear all of this alien disclosure leading up to the Antichrist. You're looking at it in the Word. And the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of a flash of lightning, very fast, the same way the 16 that came over me were. Now, as I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with its four faces. The appearance of the wheels and their work were likened to the color of beryl, and they four had one likeness, and the appearance and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel, the spinning disc inside that cylinder. And when they went upon their four sides, and they turned not when they went. They didn't have to turn. Have you ever seen, many have not, you've seen pictures, but when these 16 came over me and ducked and dodged like lightning through the air, right 100 feet above my head, these were not stars way up moving. And they were this color of beryl. They did not turn. They did not appear to turn. Why? It was a circle. It was a disc. And while the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. Let me back up to 18. And for the rings, this is where the spirit is. They were so high that they were dreadful. Dreadful is almost a word like ultimate respect. And their wings were full of eyes round about them. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them. And when the living creatures were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up, back up into the rings. Whatsoever or whithersoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was the spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up and over. Let me move this page. When those went, these went. And when those stood, these stood. In other words, when these craft, these four that were under the rings of the holy throne, when one moved, they all moved together. Wherever they moved in the same pattern. And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth over their heads above. And then, guys, if you look into the Hebrew, it's almost like this is ice, this terrible crystal. And under the firmament were the wings straight. They had opened them up. The one toward the other, everyone had two which covered on this side, and everyone had two which covered on that side their bellies. Now, guys, this is where these emblems, this likeness was. Does that remind you of even an Air Force jet? As far as the emblems on the wings, the different likenesses of an eagle or a flag? And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, the voice of speech, as the noise of a host. When they stood, they let down their wings. There's craft that have been described like this, guys. And there was voice from the firmament that was over their heads when they stood and had let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of what? A throne. And the appearance of a sapphire, as the appearance of a sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness as the appearance of a man up above it, upon it. Guys, if you don't realize how ancient that symbol is, how it goes back into ancient Mesopotamia, it goes into the Sumatran with the man and the throne in the circle. And I saw the color of amber as the appearance of fire about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward, and from the appearance of his loins even downward. And I saw it were the appearance of fire, and had brightness about it. And as the appearance of the bow that is in the cloud of the day of rain, so was the appearance of the brightness round about this, the throne of God. And the appearance of that bow, again, it's in the cloud of the day. This was the appearance of the likeness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake. You just witnessed, or you just listened to, and you don't have to agree with me. But here we got Ezekiel, the river Kibar. He was a slave. He was a captive. And then during those days of tribulation, God decided to send that throne down, and with the accompanying craft, the chariots of the gods. And if you don't think, and the reason I'm doing this, if you don't think it's because it's going to happen again, you're sadly mistaken. There's so many people, and don't do it, will say, BP, you're teaching the technology, the fallen angels. And I say, no, this is Ezekiel. This is the throne of the living God. And all the angels, none of them had wings. It was symbolic that they flew. Nowhere does it say in the Bible that the messengers had wings sticking out of their back. And that's what you see in modern day Hollywood now. Every show. It's been going on a long time. Why? To bring about the great deception. To make you think something is not right when you see these angels, these messengers of God come down. And Hollywood is setting up for this Antichrist return. And if once people start to be more and more aware of what the word says about the return, the more and more Hollywood will mimic it, because it's controlled by Satan, the same person that controls the Democrats. But guys, I'm going to get deeper into Ezekiel, and so we can talk more about this. It's an awakening in some ways, but a lot of people, a lot of you guys have known it forever. But this is the time to start talking about it. These are not great mysterious things and dragons in the book of Revelation in here. This is simply God coming down, just like he did with John, and like he did it during the trumpets and the seals, and opening up and parting the heavens so that you can see. But this is going to happen again. John tells us it is. And will you be prepared? Will your heart fail you because these are supposed to be angels with wings flying around in the clouds? Are you going to be hiding in the rocks? Oh Lord, what has come down upon us now? Please cover us and protect us from the wrath of the Lamb. No, you're not. Because one word, guys, can be like a seed. And you plant it and it grows. You can't force it to grow, but the Holy Spirit can water it. And that no man is right and correct. But you have to take the chance. You have to study, and you have to put the word out. And if you're corrected, take the correction. And I will. But guys, we are dealing with three things in this video. The tribulation of the Lamb, which is really the tribulation of man brought upon it himself. And then the wrath of God and the separation and the taking away from this planet after the tribulation, and there will be tribulation. And then the wrath of God and what happens. And so much of the latter books of Revelation are talking about things that are happening to that last group. Because they're going to know that now the living word was true. It will be a sad day. There will be gnashing of teeth. But you're not going to be one of them, guys. I appreciate it. Sorry about the glitch in the middle. I tried to go back and repeat where I kind of started seeing you guys say the audio was dropping out on us. But let me say this. This should be enough to open your minds and at least enough interest to study for yourself. You can, again, download esword.net or esword.org. I think they have both again. The Sword of the Lord. That's what we're looking at. It's free. It has all the dictionaries, all the search features that you can imagine. tremendous tool that was a gift. It's free. And so I want to close it with that, guys. We've been going on over an hour now, and I know I'm getting long-winded, but we're going to have a lot more with the things that are coming upon this planet of these shows. A lot more. I'm going to invite some guests on too. I've got some fires sent out, guys, some messages sent out to some people that are very knowledgeable, and I'll bring them in as they reply. But we're going to spend some time each week doing this, and I'm sure that there's a lot of folks that aren't really into the Bible, but for the ones that are and have the eyes to see and the ears to hear, maybe it'll be a blessing. Maybe it'll be a drop in the bucket or seed that will grow. But guys, again, I'm going to take a break. It's been a long day. I hope that the message will ring out and you'll study. This is a heads up, guys. God bless you. Thank you for everyone coming. 517 people are still here now. That's unreal, guys. We're just getting started on this. But thank all of y'all. I'm looking into the comments. Hey, 12B, brother. Angel, Darling USA, Mark Anthony, Gary Clark, True Set You Free, Cindy Jones. You guys, Monday 87, God bless you too. Mind for Knowledge 44, Sandra Martin, Mario Jones, M. Bro, Lisa Post Kronos, Charles Downey. Guys, I'm a little delayed on mine here. You've got Dome Morning, Just Arizona, N16L 17. You know you're curious. Hey, Lily Flower, Sally Knowles, Chicken Patty, Thunder 4570, Nikki from Texas, Kelly 2334, Megan F, Kathleen McCarty. Guys, it goes. Lisa Post, it keeps going. Thank you so much. And I pray and hope that I was led to do this to spread the word and maybe make you want to open up your Bible and study for yourself. And that's how you prove yourself. Study to show yourself approved, according to Timothy. Again, guys, God bless every one of you out here. And just look up. Things are going to get better. Be safe. And guys, let me just say this. I see some other folks popping in there. Chris Kraft and Joey. Joey, thank you for all you've done. Mark Anthony, Tim Dupree, Mr. Rob. And Mark Anthony, Chris Kraft, Arnold Murray is proud. Thank you. You know, that's something that you should be proud of, because if anyone can pick up his mantle and even barely touch it, you've done a good job. And I know a lot of you feel the same way. So again, thank you. Hey, Deb, Series, Megan. I hope you guys got something out of this. Again, I'm going to back out of here and get me some cold water. It's a heads up. Be safe.